Hello, welcome to today's topic on disk partitioning, also known as disk slicing. Is the creation of one or more regions on secondary storage so that each region can be managed separately. These regions are called partitions. Each partition then appears to the operating system as a distinct logical disk that uses part of the actual disk. So I'm going to take you to the system and then show you how to create a disk partition and then how to even get a lost partition back, and then also shrink a volume right here inside Windows 10. Okay, right here we are going to access the disk management, and one way to do that is to go to the start button, click on it, then go to the start menu, scroll all the way down till you get to Windows Administrative Tools, then click to expand. At this point you have a couple of things including computer management. Click on computer management and then you have access to this computer management right here. All right, for the sake of training purpose, I'm going to close it. So let me show you another way to get on with it. Right click on this PC from the desktop or wherever you have it, then come down to manage. Then sure enough, you are presented with the same window you've got earlier. Then from the left pane right here, come to storage, and then you see disk management. Well, if you have a collapsed storage, then you have to click on this little triangle right here. Then you have access to disk management. Click on it and you will see all your disks, volumes and other things right here. And in my case, I've got this disk C, and then I also got disk 0 partition 2, then recovery, and then my disk D. Well, right here we are not going to talk about the D, but then the C. Our focus is actually on the C right here. And notice when I click on the C, you're going to see this one selected right here. The C is this, and the total size is 118.61 gigabyte. And of course it's actually an NTFS technology system, that is new technology file system, according to Microsoft Windows. And if I should come here to disk 0 partition 2, then it will switch to this system partition here. And then the last one, which is the recovery, is this 529 megabytes. It's also a new technology file system right here. All right, now look at this. Then what we are going to do next is we would actually examine this from our computer or this PC. So let me drag this window out a bit, then double click on this PC. Now when you double click on this PC, you're going to see your drives. It says devices and drives. So I've got two. This is my primary, that is local disk C, and then this is my secondary, which is actually an external hard drive for me. You can see it's almost full up. That is why it has red light. So pay attention to this. This one, out of 118 gigabyte, we have 58.7 gigabyte free, which means this gray region is the free space right here. What I want to do, however, is to shrink it so that I can create a partition out of this same disk. So to do so, let me switch to my computer management and then go to C. So as you may recall, you've got your C right here. So let me go back, right click on it, and then you've got the option to open. So open would actually open it for you in your Explorer. Then let me close, right click. When you go to explore, it also works much like the open. As you can see, the same window or the same Explorer. Right click again, then we've got mark partition as active, which is inactive because the partition is already active. Then we've got change drive letter and path. Then we've got format, extend volume, shrink, mirror, delete, properties, and then hub. Well, the reason we are here is for shrink. So we want to shrink the volume, and at this time it's going to query the status of the available space to be shrink. And here it's telling me that, hey, well, the total size before shrink in megabytes, that is 121,457 megabytes. Then size of available shrink space in megabytes, that is 60072. And then it says, hey, enter the amount of space to shrink in megabyte. Well, here it will bring to you all the free space over here, which when you shrink, you're gonna actually get this particular space out of the current partition. So I'm going to leave it as it is, then I'll click on shrink. Now at this point, pay attention, we've got another partition here. In fact, this is actually not a partition, it's called unallocated, which means it has no partition, it has no drive letter. In fact, disk partitioning is the first step in installing operating system, especially Windows, on a disk. That is, during the installation process, you have to format, you have to create a partition, then you install your operating system on that partition. It's very important. Now at this time, watch something. Let me come back to my window right here, that is this PC, and then let me refresh it. Now pay attention to this. The local disk C, now it reads 38.8 megabyte free of 59.9 gigabytes. This was initially 118 point a change, but now look at this. And the unfortunate incidence is that what we've even shrink is not displaying here. Why? Because it has become unallocated, it has not been formatted, no drive letter has been assigned or so ever. To do so, to actually make this unallocated active, we have to right click on it, then make it a simple volume. Click on new simple volume. So I'm going to right click, new simple volume, then click on next, and then here it would come up with the maximum disk space you've got over there, which is 60072, and then maximum disk space in megabyte, well, it says 8, then simple volume size in megabyte. Well, I just want the same thing to come. I don't want even 1K to be left out, so I'm going to leave it as it is, then click on next. All right, so it says assign drive letter or path. So this is where you're going to assign the drive letter. Well, currently it says, hey, assign the following drive letter. Its recommendation is E. So, well, I also love to use E, so I'm going to leave it as it is. You can also choose to mount it in any empty new technology file system folder, which I am not going to. I just want us to keep things simple here for now. And then here it says do not assign a drive letter or path. So if you choose not to assign any drive letter or path, which means you're not going to see any drive letter or whatsoever. And why should you even create a partition? Well, when you want to organize your files, maybe you have videos, photos, and other things. Well, maybe you might want to create a partition so that all videos can go on one partition, so you can manage the partition independently out of the rest. This is the best way to go. When a partition is being formatted, it doesn't actually affect the rest. It does not affect the rest of the partitions, which means whatever file you have on other partitions remains safe for you, except for the affected or the current partition which you actually trying to format, which is the process by erasing the content of a partition or a drive. That is what formatting is. All right, so let me click on next here and then look at something. Here it says format partition. So this is where you're going to format it, which would erase everything on it, as I told you. So formatting here in operating system is different from formatting in other softwares. For instance, formatting here in your operating system means erasing the content of a drive. All right, so here you can choose not to format the drive, or the volume, or you can choose to format it. And in my case, I would love to format it, by the way. So here the file system to use here is NTFS, which is what is recommended, and then allocation unit in that is allocation unit size. I'm going to leave it set to default. Then volume label, well, this is where you have the option to name your volume, and let's say I want to name it my videos. I have my videos over here now here it says, hey, perform a quick format, and then enable file and folder compression. This is where you're going to compress all the files on the disk so to save space, but I'm not going to do that. After all, nowadays we have a lot of disks, terabytes and things in the system, and they are very less expensive, so why should I even go about compressing my things? I will not do that. So but then I would only leave the perform a quick format right there. Then I'll click on the next and then finish. At this time, look, it says formatting. Now it has finished formatting, and then you can see it has been opened right here. So let me go back to this PC, and now you can see I have my videos drive over here labeled as E right here. So look at this NTFS. It says I have 0 bytes, which means there is nothing out there. Well, what I want to do next is that I want to delete this partition. Okay, I want to delete it and then merge it with this one. So to do so, I have to right click, because I'm doing this because I don't have enough space in my system. So I'm going to right click, then go to delete volume, then yes, and then come to the C, then click on extend volume, then click on next, and then next, then finish. Then at this time everything is set for me to go, and sure enough, if I should return to this PC and then refresh it, now notice I've got everything right down there. So my friends, that is how to take advantage of this disk management utility right here inside Windows 10. Thank you.